Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So, today I've got a special review for you. I'm checking out Superman in Action Comics number 662. So, one of my friends is doing a live stream on Friday, and I'll be there, and we're going to be talking about comics in the 1990s. So, that got me thinking about this issue. So, I went ahead and reread it and thought I'd go ahead and do a review on it. So I think it's a pretty cool issue. As you can see on the cover here, this was kind of a big deal at the time because it was a reveal issue where Superman finally reveals to Lois Lane that he is Superman. So as you can see there, it says, "At long last, the secret revealed." So it's pretty neat, and I do like the cover. It's kind of an iconic cover. And I don't remember if I said, but this was from 1991. So it's still, of course, got the newsprint. And some of the advertisements are kind of cool. That's one thing I like about old comics, too, is the ads. Ironically, because I always complain about ads. But, it's just interesting. It's like a time capsule. So the people that worked on this is Roger Stern as the writer, Bob McLeod is the artist, Bill Oakley is the letterer, and Glenn Whitmore is the colorist. So we start off there, and you can see this is LexCorp, and this is apparently Lex is dead, or he's pretending to be dead, or something. And this is a lawyer who's looking through all of the old papers and finds a will that Lex had left behind. So this is just a little bit about some prisoners. Let's see, what was his name? Baron Sunday. So I don't know what that connects to. But anyways, you can see Lois and Clark here are at her apartment, and they're making out and stuff. And there's a lot of romance in this, but it isn't really like hokey or anything. I don't know. It's pretty well done. And I thought the penciling was really good throughout this, McLeod. What was his first name again? I think it's Bob McLeod, right? Yeah, Bob McLeod. He is a good artist. He drew a ton of stuff for both DC and Marvel. I looked him up, and I guess he helped. He co-created the New Mutants. So, anyways, they're kissing, and he's talking about how he has something he needs to tell her. And they go into the kitchen because she made some popcorn. And there's a knock at the door, so he goes to the door, and then poof, you see the arms smash through and grab him. So that's pretty hardcore. And then you get an ad for Mega Man 3. That's kind of cool. And okay, so yeah, Silver Banshee is there, and she smashes in through the door. And she's got Clark, and he falls down. And this was one part I thought was really cool. Lois throws the bowl of popcorn at him, or at her, I mean. So, that's really cool. That's one thing Lois always does, too. She'll stand up for people she cares about, even though she knows. And she knows who Silver Banshee is. So she knows, she's not nearly strong enough. But the deal here is Silver Banshee is looking for Superman. And even though she's found him, she doesn't realize that Clark is Superman. Because even immortal, superpowered villains are fooled by the glasses. So, it is Action Comics after all. So, Lois is all sad because she thinks he's dead, but he isn't. And then there's this really cool panel, I hope I can do it justice showing it, where they're out on the window ledge. And they're just talking, but it's actually really amazing the way it's drawn, and this is the kind of thing nowadays they'd probably use a 3D model of a city and just trace it or whatever, but even though it's, I don't know, you could say a simple whatever idea when they pitched this panel, probably, the way Bob McLeod drew it made it really dynamic. The angles and everything. So anyways, it's really cool. And they're just talking about what's going on. So he's like, I have to go and tell Superman about it. And she's like, no, don't go. But he's like, I got to. And, she's like, be careful. So And again, the way that it's drawn and colored is really awesome. It's great. Even though this is an older issue, I think it's held up pretty well. There's some yellowing on the pages, but I guess that's probably normal. So anyways, Superman, because Clark left, so now he's Superman. He's flying around, and he's just looking for Silver Banshee. Then there's a flashback to the last time they fought, and she's a really tough opponent for him because she uses magic. Although in this, I think they call it supernatural powers, but the same thing, really. So, yeah, he's just looking for her, but then he remembers her screech, so he just tunes into her sound, and then he figures out where she is. And she's gone to the Daily Planet because she's looking for him. So she senses that he's there a lot. And this is pretty epic, too. One of the guys crouching behind the desk is afraid, and he's saying the Lord's Prayer to himself. But Silver Banshee's tearing up the office looking for him. And she's like, "Where is he?" It sounds like General Zod in Man of Steel. But anyways, he shows up and he's like, "I'm right here. If you want me, come and get me." So, pretty good fight. She jumps through the window, grabs him. He is not a very good opponent, in this. Like, he just can't deal with magic at all. So she just smashes him into the ground and picks him up and takes him. And then the lawyer from earlier is talking to another guy, and they are like, "Oh, we gotta find Mr. Luthor's heir." So that's a whole other story that's going. Then Lois is here. She's talking to her sister on the phone, just kind of looking cute. And then the power goes out, but you get that cool contrast between the lighting change from one panel to the next. And she has a pet cat, which is always good. And yeah, just the art is really cool. And oh yeah, so Silver Banshee took Superman to this old church, and she's gonna sacrifice him because this other villain called Blaze is telling her what to do. There's an axe there. It's like a magic axe, so she's gonna take it and use it to kill him. And right, she swings. That's Blaze there. It's just cool. He's just like a torch, just like a fire guy, and he's telling her what to do. And she swings, and right when it's gonna hit his throat, grabs it, throws her. And then she uses all her powers and screams at him, but since he's got this axe now and it's enchanted, it shields him. And Blaze is like, "Oh, you failed me, Silver Banshee." And Superman, which is kind of dumb, throws the axe at Blaze. So Blaze is gone, but then Silver Banshee has the axe. So now she could actually take him down, or probably hurt him at the very least. And then she gets stopped, which is the same way she gets stopped in their previous fight, apparently. There's this character named Crone who gave her her powers in the first place, stopped her, and then they have a little philosophical talk, because they're smart people, and it's pretty interesting. Oh, this happens throughout, too. It's always see, Action Comics, yada, yada, yada. There's 3 or 4 or 5 throughout that it references. But the cool thing is they're all either Superman comics or Action Comics, so it's not like they're asking you to go out of your way. You're probably already following that if you're buying these at the time. So Lois is lighting candles because the power's out. Clark shows up, and it's cool. It's real romantic. She's super happy and hugs him. And he's like, "I still got something I have to tell you." And they just keep talking about it, and then he's like, "There's something you must know before we marry." And she's like, "Clark?" Ta-da! Then he does it. And he shows her that he's Superman. So, full page. Splash page. Very cool. So, oh, and they actually have letters. I didn't go through and read all these because it's from, a long time ago. But this is back when they still had letters and they'd publish them. So, that's the issue. That's Action Comics. Well, Superman in Action Comics, number 662 from 1991. I thought it was great, That's kind of what you want from a comic. A lot of character development. It actually did some lore. This was actually kind of wordy. There's a lot of dialogue throughout, which I do criticize sometimes, but at the same time, this didn't feel like it was over saturated with words. Like, it was all pretty interesting to me. So that was cool. So yeah, the story's good. It's got a lot of action. I like all the characters involved. Little bromance, a big reveal at the end. What you see on the cover is what you get in the comic. And then, yeah, just even some of the really basic things like, okay, Lois and Clark are talking on a window ledge, but it's drawn in such a way that you're like, that's really cool. That's beautiful. So I liked it. It was actually one of the better comics I've read in a while. I kind of feel like I should start going to the back issues. Alright, so that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments what you thought. Have you read this issue? And if you have, that'd be awesome. Alright, be sure and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. And as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.